Good morning, Unity on the Bay. I love how that sounds. So I will pretend I didn't do it, and I'll do it again. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Oh, happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Faye Watt, and I'm super excited to be assisting Reverend Juan this morning. We are going to have an incredible service. We've got a wonderful cameo appearance today by the beautiful Miss Nicole Yarling right here. Hello. Yes. So welcome to Unity on the Bay, a positive path for spiritual living. While we're here, we've got our kids in their own time of inspiration and learning in our Kids Zone. You can attend online or here in person. Go to unityonthebay.org, click on the Family tab, fill out a couple of questions, bing, bang, boom, your kid is in. All right, so I got a couple of things to tell you about, and by you here, if you can hear by my voice, guess what? I've had way too much coffee today. Oh my God, I've had a lot of coffee. I know already, so you know it's going to be a good service, right? When Faye's had too much coffee, it's great. No, it's always a great service here at Unity on the Bay. We are so blessed. Yay! So it's been a crazy week. You know, I'm sure that most of you heard last week that Reverend Chris will be retiring from field ministry in October of this year, and that he and Reverend Juan are going to be co-ministers together until then. So there's a beautiful letter from Reverend Chris on our website that you can find all the details. Today, I want to remind you that there is a question and answer, a Q&A session at 12:30 p.m., both in person and online. And so if you have any questions regarding his retirement, that'll be the time to ask them. If you want to go online to register and get the Zoom link for you folks at home and people here, it's going to be right after service here, so you could just stay around, have a coffee, and then just sit down and join us. Next, Ash Wednesday is just 3 days away. Wow, where has the time gone, right? Where has the time gone? So Ash Wednesday is 3 days away, and that means it's the start of Lent season. What are you guys giving up for Lent? That's a man after my own heart, right? Me neither, no. Every year I try to give up something for Lent, and after like day 3, I always mess it up. But it doesn't matter. We get to start all over every single day, right? So this morning, I want to personally invite you to a special Ash Wednesday service, an Ash Wednesday experience, the night of March 2nd at 7 p.m. right here. So Reverend Juan is going to be joined by Angela Ribeiro and Carmen Navedo, so you know it's going to be an incredible night. Both are energy healing practitioners. Together, we're creating an experience for you which will blend music, chanting, reading, sharing, and silent meditation. We will also have ashes for those who want to stick to the tradition of Ash Wednesday. We'll also live stream it, so if you're here with us this morning, stop by the bookstore on the way out to get a small package of ashes to participate from home. And speaking of Lent, we have a wonderful Lent booklet that was created by Unity World Headquarters. It contains 40 daily messages about releasing and renewing, provided by New Thought writers. If you head on over to our website, you can download that pamphlet as well. Next, March Meditation Madness. That sounds familiar, right? March Madness, that's something to do with sports, right? Football. George, why are you laughing at me? George, why do you look down when you laugh at me? At least laugh at me to my face, George. That's a Unity principle right there. I'm going to laugh to your face. So we've got like our own version of March Madness, right? Who wants to work on their meditation? Yes, right? Constantly. That's something I'm always trying to work at. So last year we kicked off the first ever March Meditation Madness program, and over 140 of you committed to being more consistent with your meditation practices. So here's the deal. It's free to enroll. All you have to do is attend Unity on the Bay's meditation-based program so you can up your meditation practice. You can up your meditation game. During these programs, we will give you mantra words. Collect at least 6 during the month of March, and you'll be entered to win either a massage package at the standard. ¿Quién necesita un masaje? Right? All of a sudden, I got your attention, right? Like, what? What was Faye talking about? What? Faye's always talking some crazy stuff up there, but she said a massage there, and I was like, what? So a massage package at the Standard Spa on Miami Beach. Que fancy. Estamos bien fancy. I see you having tea with your pinky out and everything. I love it. A beautiful Tibetan healing bowl. Those bowls are gorgeous, and they're expensive, too. A $50 gift certificate to our bookstore, or a Unity on the Bay P-shirt. I have one of those. I love it. So head on over to our website and look for March Meditation Madness. It sounds cool when I say it like that. Sorry, Michelle. My best friend's sitting in the front, and she says, Faye, you're very loud. We'll be in the car talking to each other, and she's like, it's just us here, right? But I love her because she's part of the board, and I'm a little afraid of her. I'm afraid of people, too. Anyway, so our March Meditation Madness, head on over to our website, look for March Meditation Madness to enroll. For those in person this morning, there's a card on your seat with all the details that you need, all right? All right, we'll start next Sunday. And without any further ado, I will shut up and bring on up Mr. Reverend Juan del Hierro.
Thank you, Faye. Have you ever experienced this at Unity on the Bay where you show up and you get an answer to a question you never really asked? Have you experienced that before? Faye, this is your answer. Coffee. Give up coffee for Lent. I mean, some of us were thinking it, right? All right, well, it is really great to be here in spiritual community with each and every one of you. What a joy it is, right, to be able to find this place and the people that are surrounding us in this very moment when there's so much going on in our individual lives, even in the life of this community, in the world community, that we can come together, recognize how powerful being a community centered in love, in harmony, and in peace, and being around people that have the vision of how that can show up in the world. It's a really powerful and a very radical thing that we're doing this morning. So give yourselves a little pat on the back. Give yourselves a little yay, you are here and you are ready. And we'll begin. So as Faye did say, my name is Juan. I'm one of the ministers in this community. If this is your first or second time, whether it's in the room or watching from home, we'd really just love to get to know you more. We have so many wonderful programs and opportunities, not just the ones that Faye was talking about, but so many different practices that we are invited into. And so if this is your first or second time, we just want to connect with you, let you know more about what those are, and also just get to know you more so that you can really feel connected to who we are as a spiritual community. And who we are as a spiritual community is really defined with how we want to show up through our core values. And as we do look at everything going on in our lives and the world around us, really take a moment to take in how these core values that Unity on the Bay shares and how we are each expressing them, they're really about shifting, right? They're shifting all of humanity. They're shifting our world experience. And so this is a really powerful thing that we are reminded of each Sunday when we come together. So with that in mind, let's take a breath. And let us speak them, maybe not scream them, but speak them in such a powerful way that they are heard. That wasn't a dig up here, but that they're felt in a very powerful way all around the globe. So together, our core values at Unity on the Bay are diversity, generosity, gratitude, integrity, love, spirit-led, and wisdom. Our service today is dedicated to what is happening in Ukraine and all those that are being affected by the conflict that is going on there. And our prayer is really for us to be agents of peace, to spread that peace throughout the world. And so let's just take that into prayer this morning. Really resting in this moment and resting in this experience. Opening our hearts and opening our minds to the very presence of God that is here and now. We not only see it for ourselves, but we see it for all those around us. We see it for our loved ones, our friends and family. We see it for the whole world. We see it for Ukraine. We see the presence of God in the midst of all that is taking place. And we lean on this presence to bring us into a greater understanding of our truth, that there is love and peace and harmony, that there is unity here and now, and that it is emerging, that it is evolving and expressing itself in greater and greater ways in this moment as we recognize this truth for us. We see it as the possibility for all those in Ukraine and even in Russia and the surrounding countries, knowing that God's wisdom is showing up, that God's comfort is there, that the possibility and the potential for a greater acceptance of our truth that we are all one is not only present, but we are living into it, and we see through the eyes of God. We feel through the heart of God, and knowing the power that God is in us and in all humanity, we now speak our prayer for protection for Ukrainians. And if you don't know it by heart, feel free to open your eyes as together we affirm the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. This is truth. And today we celebrate and we honor this truth by allowing it to live within us and be expressed as us. We are the light of the world, and in this moment, we recognize that God's light is shining brightly. Thank you, God. We know this to be true. We allow it to be so, and we say, amen.
Thank you, Reverend Juan. Well, we already heard from Faye that we have Nicole Yarling, and right here she is. Welcome again, Nicole.
Thank you. Before we start, I would like to wish our fearless musical leader, Mr. Dale Stein, a happy birthday! Because I forgot to do it last. Oh, do you want me to sing it? Happy...
No. Let's save that for later.
We'll save it for later.
There's a lot. Don't mess up the show, girl.
You guys got it. And if you feel like singing along, sometimes I'm right, then I can be wrong.
That's right.
My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah. There is a blue one who can't accept the green one, for living with a big one, trying to be a little one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Ooh, shout, shout. We got to live together. I ain't no better, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me, and then you can't figure out the bag I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah. There is a long hair that doesn't like the short hair, for being such a rich one that will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
please. Keep it going. I love that they put the words up on the screen, right? Don't you? Like, I've heard that song a million trillion times. I had no idea that and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Doo. That was my favorite part of the whole thing. And I'm sitting there next to Michelle and Juan acting like if I know the words. And so on and Scooby-Doo. Love that. Dale Stein, you're just amazing. Please give it up for them one more time. Can I just say that I love us? I just love us. We love you. Aw, thank you. Thank you. I'm not giving up the coffee. You see, Reverend? Bueno. So it is now time for the daily word, and I'm honored and blessed to read today's daily word, which is comforted. I am enfolded in God's comforting peace. So I like to travel through life lightly with a happy heart, but sometimes I'm laid low by a seemingly insurmountable obstacle or loss. I understand that painful periods visit everyone occasionally. I open to my feelings of sadness and sorrow and seek the comfort of God's presence in myself and in my loved ones. As I become willing to embrace my feelings while I process my pain, I trust I will be comforted. Pain has come to pass. God's love and strength remain and will be with me always. I am grateful for the encouragement of friends and family. Their loving support comforts me. Even when no one is by my side, I know I am not alone. I find comfort in the Christ presence within me. I move bravely through the pain enfolded in the comforting peace of God. This was inspired by Matthew 5, verse 4. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted.
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
I know hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do.
Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us,
And the world will be as one.
And so now it's that part of our service where we allow ourselves to go into meditation and contemplation. And so I invite you to join me in taking a few conscious, refreshing breaths. And if you have not done so already, close your eyes. take this pause, this time of reflection, and allow yourself to be immersed in this energy of knowing. Knowing that the presence of God is here and now. Knowing that the activity of God, the activity of Spirit, is alive within you and as you. Knowing that you are sacred and holy. Take another deep breath. As you continue to move within, let any noise that you may hear outside of you just remind you of how peaceful and gentle and wonderful it is to go within, to go deeper into the truth of this moment. Take another deep breath. And feel and sense, yes, this deep knowing, this truth that is alive within you, this truth that holds you, lifts you up. It is the truth that you and God are one. And that in our oneness with the divine, we are one with all of humanity. And so as we pause for ourselves, we bring the whole world with us to know and affirm and trust that God is here, that love abounds, that peace is our natural state, that abundance is present, and that we claim this truth. We step more fully into it. So notice how the thoughts have slowed, how the heart continues to expand and unfold in love, this experience, the allness of who we are. And your heart continues to expand, inviting you to be anchored in your truth, to be anchored in that cosmic Christ energy, the Buddha consciousness, divinity itself, your higher self. Be anchored in it now. Embody it. And know that in this moment you are embodying. Be fully aware that all that God is present in you. As we remember this, we simply allow anything that is keeping us from fully knowing our truth to be released and let go of. Not only from within us, but to be released and to be let go of. In the consciousness of humanity, there is no separation. There are no limits to the truth of our being and to our embodying more fully the presence of God. Healing is taking place. And we ourselves are the healing presence in this moment. And so let us take a few moments in the silence to bask in this energy and to feel it, to know it, and to trust it. And so, today you are witnessed for your truth. You are witnessed as the love and light of Spirit. And today, you witness that love and light in your life, in the life of this community, and in the world. So it is. Amen and amen.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. Take a little time out of your busy day to give encouragement to someone who's lost the way. Or to be talking to a stone if I ask you to share a problem that's not your own. We can change things. this world a better place. If you can, if you see an old friend on the street and he's down, remember his shoes could fit your feet. Try a little kindness and you'll see it comes so very naturally. We can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. You can reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. Is everybody here? If you can.
Thank you to Nicole Yarling and our amazing music ministry. And as beautiful as I believe that song to be, I caught this at the first service and it just dawned on me, that last line, if you can, it almost offers us excuse of not doing so. Because the reality is that I believe that all of us can. It's really about, are we choosing to? Right? Like, we have the opportunity to reach out. We have the opportunity to connect. We have the power to shift the world, really, if we decide to choose to do it. And we're always choosing, right? Like, we're always making that choice. And maybe we don't see it as global, right? But we're making the choice to love ourselves, to be in harmony with ourselves. We're making the choice to do it with our loved ones and in relationships that we have. And always, if you get anything other than this from me ever, is that we're making the choice of being that agent of peace or the agent of disharmony, the agent of love or an agent of not believing in the possibility and the opportunity that is before us, that we are equipped. I mean, hear this out. We are fully equipped to make the shift. And we've experienced it in maybe small ways and maybe even in some big ways in our own lives, but we are equipped for it. And I really value that we come to a place like Unity where we are reminded that we have everything that we need. And that is a shift, right? Like, that is a shift in consciousness. That is a shift in seeing our place and our role in the world and in our world. How many of us have in the past thought of ourselves as a victim to what is happening outside of us, right? That for those of you who were there at some point, and let's be honest, who sometimes go there every so often, here and there, Like, that is a big shift, right? But we're in a community that was founded on shifting out of old paradigms, of old ways of thinking, of old ways of being. And so what a great opportunity that we get reminded and that we have each other to lean on to support us in making that shift. And one of the shifts that I feel I want to make even more so is to just continue to grow in my mindset of what is possible. And we talk a lot about choices, right? And I talk a lot about the choices that are in each and every moment. And that is really valuable. And the practice of knowing that each moment carries with it that opportunity is powerful. And in this very moment, we could actually just choose to shift our way of being and shift our mindset to a place where it's no longer that difficult to be in those choices that we're making moment by moment. Like, I believe that, yes, it is moment by moment, but if I believe in something so deeply, if I do the work to create that change in mindset, the choices become easier over time until it no longer is seen as even a choice, but just a way of being, a way of living. Wouldn't you want to experience that where we don't have to think twice about going A or B, but it's just we feel so guided and so much in the knowing that this is how love is showing up through me and as me, and this is what is possible as I say yes to Spirit. Wouldn't you want to experience a little bit more of that in your life? Wouldn't you want it to feel a little easier in those moments to make that choice? And so this is what we're talking about today, is to really be able to make that shift in the mindset itself. And specifically about the mindset of moving into a more gracious space of the moment, a more gracious space of being positive about what is coming through in every moment. Now, if you're like me, and I think you are, we're looking at what's going on in the world around us. We're looking at what's going on in Ukraine. And yes, I want to hold the vision and I want to hold the space for there to be peace and harmony showing up. But how many of you have experienced a level of fear and anxiety as you have been watching what's been on the news? I do, right? And I realize that that's part of just my conditioning, right? Like, that's part of just how I have seen the world in the past and how maybe I was raised. And the reality is that part of it is just also the way that we have been, we have created ourselves, right? Because there is a part in us that is always thinking about survival, right? Have you experienced that where all of a sudden just a fear shows up? You're and all of a sudden it's you go into that reptilian brain, right? That only thinks about survival. And survival means that we have to be in some level of fear and anxiety so that we know not to go through door A and actually go through door B, right? And I really, for those of you who are parents in this room, you probably have had the experience. I'm very conscious of how, as I raise my 9-year-old son, the conditioning that I'm inviting him into. And I get it. Part of it is just this love. I don't want him to be hurt. I don't want him to be in pain. And I have to step back sometimes because I realize that some of what I'm saying and some of the ways in which I am supporting him and maneuvering through life can also create in him a distrust of God, a distrust of the moment, a distrust of others. I mean, does this ring true? At the end of the day, that fear and the anxiety that can sometimes show up is a distrust. When I'm looking at the news and seeing what's going on in Ukraine, there is a level of distrust that something good is going to show up. And so how do we maneuver through it? And how can I keep myself, how can all of us keep ourselves from falling into that sense of fear and anxiety, into that reptilian brain that is there? Well, we've evolved from there. So the brain itself has evolved, and I've spoken to you before, right? It's evolved from us having the reptilian brain to the limbic part of our brain to the neocortex part of the brain. And that to me just shows that our continued evolution and our continued spiritual evolution is moving us from that place of fear into an experience of trust, an experience of compassion, an experience of love. And it's still there. So how can we choose and how can we do it differently? For me, this is really about like just being able to live in the world, be of the world, and know all the stuff that is going on, and have that level of trust in the presence of God in everything and everyone, moment by moment, and being positive about it, because the moment that we trust that is the moment that we can look out at the world around us and the world within us and still be positive about what is taking place. I actually recently found a new label that I'm giving myself, and I got to read it because I mispronounce it every single time, but let me go. Apocalyptimist. Say that 3 times fast, right? Apocalyptimist. Apocalyptimist, but I love it because it gave me a redefinition of how I can see myself and how I can experience the world around me. Apocalyptimist, that one, where there's a lot of big issues going on. Big issues in my life, as we know, challenging situations that may be experienced in our own lives, in the life of this community. In the world, there's a lot going on, apocalyptic, right? And we can be optimists that the power is in us and the power is in this very moment to respond to everything that is taking place. Not from a place of fear and anxiety, but from a place of knowing the presence of God and trusting in that presence, that in this experience, the possibility and the opportunity for a greater sense of love, harmony, peace, joy, abundance, prosperity, everything we know God to be is showing up. Now, part of it is in us being willing to look at it that way, right? Like in making that choice. A quote that is usually used mainly for prayer is from Mark chapter 7, verse 7. It says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Search and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened for you." I've missed in the past the power of that second part of it. Search and you will find. What are we searching for? Are we searching for the ways that things are going wrong? Are we searching for the disharmony and the discomfort? Or are we searching for the glimpse of what is possible and what is showing up and emerging in our lives and in the life of humanity? What are we searching for? And I'll tell you this, the moment that we start asking the question, what is possible? What is a possible way of seeing positivity show up, something good showing up, is the moment that we're going to be more open to actually seeing it. Right? How many of you have had the experience where something you've been looking, glasses or whatever, you've been looking for, and you're so in the anxiety of trying to find what you're looking for that you don't realize it's right there, right in front of you, right? The phone, right? Let me tell you, my husband got me those Apple tags for my phone, for my keys, and for my wallet. So, right, like that kind of, but it's there, right? And so the opportunity for us to actually like take a moment back and realize that as we step back from some of that fear and anxiety to the trusting, all of a sudden things start to show up that we may not have seen. Actually, Native Americans, I've come to learn, we're really good about it. Like, so there's this philosophy in Native Americanism that in the same place, in the same vicinity of where the poison is, so is the antidote. So like if a plant has a poison in it and somebody was poisoned with it, they would look around that same plant to find the antidote. The same place where we can find the fear and the things to be anxious about and the things to be a victim of is the same place, the same experience that can be the antidote to that, to the challenge that we may be seeing. And so what are we seeking? That's the choice that is before us. And when we look out into Ukraine, we can be lost in that, right? And I mean, I say it because it's right in the forefront of our minds, right? But we have other things that are happening in our lives that we can also be a victim to. One of the things that I was really conscientious of as I was watching the news, I'm a news junkie, actually, so I was watching the news, was just like be able to know what is going on and also recognize that there's something else that is happening that I may not be seeing so easily, right? And what am I looking at? What am I searching for? Well, in the face of war, am I looking for unity? Well, there's unity. The response in the human family has shown a greater sense of unity, right? Like as we're looking at the disharmony, but we question and seek to see the harmony of things, are we not seeing the care and the love that we've been asking for to see in greater ways showing up? And so it's really about just being open to seeing and to experiencing it through the mindset of what's possible and what's positive in it. Now, I have to tell you, I'm not saying that we have to be, grateful for what's going on. I'm not saying that we have to just think of it as positive. And we can ask, is there something that is showing up? Is there something positive that can happen as a result of it? One of the things that I realized as we were talking about, like every moment is a blessing, or a gift, which was the theme of this talk today, is that a lot of times when I am open to seeing like what a gift this moment is, I do it in terms of comparison. Like yesterday was really rough. I'm having a better day today. What a gift today is, right? Have you experienced that? Or even like thinking about freedom. What's going on in Ukraine and Russia, right? Like makes us realize to be even more grateful for the freedoms that we experience, right? But the problem with comparing, there's some good things that can come of it, but the problem with comparing is that the moment that we enter into that system, we enter into a system that says we're good because other people don't have it, which also allows us to then think, well, wait, there's somebody that's more rich, more powerful, happier, and therefore it's not me. I'm not blessed. This moment, I'm not the gift, right? When in reality, we get to be invited to every moment, everything within us is a gift, not because of others, but because of who and what we are, and how we are the expression of this presence that is God. It also brings us into a greater sense of harmony and understanding that we're all interconnected. Because the moment that I see myself as blessed because somebody may not have, what does that mean for our relationship? Right? Like we are here to not only express our good, but to lift up the good of others because we are connected. So the power of positivity. Marianne Williamson says, while the power of negativity is clear to most everyone, the power of vigorous positivity receives short shrift in comparison. Positivity is more than the absence of the negative. It is the presence through thought, word, and action of the positive. In other words, simply not being negative is not enough. If we're interested in creating miracles and invoking the most powerful creative manifestation, we must proactively be positive. So how can we do that? I love the Scooby-Dooby. You're also going to get a little bit of, what is that bear? Winnie the Pooh, thank you. Carmen saw the first service. Winnie the Pooh. As my friend Ken asked, do we want to be the Tigger or the Eeyore? Do we want to be the Tigger or do we want to be the Eeyore? Now, at the end of the day, though, there is something to watch out for because that Tigger, how many of you are annoyed at Tigger every so often? Right? Like there is the opportunity for us to fall into toxic positivity, right? Where we don't acknowledge some of the things that are really taking place, right? Like we aren't able to see what is clearly happening. And as a result of that, then we're not able to really see how we can respond to it because we're doing it with blinders on, right? So we're not talking about toxic positivity, but we're really talking about acknowledging what's going on, not being a victim of it, not staying there and asking the question, how am I here to respond to it while looking at it through the eyes of positivity? And Dalai Lama says, in order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. Every moment is a gift. Now, how do we hack ourselves into having this positive mindset? I think there's two pieces to it. The first one is curiosity and the power of curiosity in every moment. The second is the power of gratitude in every moment. Now, curiosity is just to be open, right? Like to asking the right questions, to seek what we want to find. And so even just being in the question, how is this, whatever may be going on in our individual lives, in the life of the community, in the life of humanity, like asking the question and just being curious, what is emerging here? What positive thing is emerging? What good is emerging here? You don't even have to answer that question. That's the beauty of it. You just have to ask it. And as you ask it, be open to seeing the answers, but to be in that curiosity moment by moment as a mindset. The next is gratitude. And I love finding 1 Thessalonians that says, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. There's a distinction in there that I hope we all hear. It doesn't say give thanks for all things. It says give thanks in all things. Maybe there are things going on in our lives that we can't be grateful for. Maybe there is a hurt. Maybe there is healing that is still needing to take place, and we can't be grateful for everything that we are experiencing in our lives. And it says be grateful in all those things. So what is it in that situation that you can find to be grateful for? Right? So in that circumstance, in that situation, in that life experience, is there one little thing that you can find to be grateful for? And as we know, the moment that we step into gratitude, that gratitude continues to show up. That gratitude continues to allow us to see more and more. And it is part of the shifting of those experiences. Thich Nhat Hanh says, the miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on the green earth in the present moment to appreciate the peace and beauty that are available now. See, that's the key, to know that in every single moment, there is beauty, that there is a possibility, there is potential for greater good. There is potential that we can tap into to experience life in a different way. And the life that you are living now, the life that we are living now, with all of its energy, with all its possibility, is the miracle itself, if we allow it to be, if we step into it. And I think we are making those choices, and so we can rest powerfully in the fact that we are exercising these muscles. As many of you have already shared, last week, Reverend Chris spoke about his upcoming retirement in October. There's time. But I was struck by the beauty of our community that was able to, yes, be in the grief, be in the sadness, right, that so many of us are experiencing, and maybe without even being conscious of it, you chose to see the positive, because so many people then said, but I'm so happy for Reverend Chris to be able to be with his family. Look at that. Without even thinking much about it, we were able to shift. And the same way we can do it in other parts of our lives. And actually, even in this situation, we can ask ourselves not only what's the positive for Chris, but through the eyes of a different mindset of positivity, what's the positive for each of us, right? Like I've shared with you, like maybe an opportunity to practice what he has taught us for so many years. Maybe an opportunity for us to see ourselves as more than physicality and connected by physicality, right? There's so many different ways that we can see it, again, if we seek to find it. And that is the question that we have before us. When we look at the challenges that are taking place in our lives and in the life of humanity, the potential for good is there. We've already practiced seeing it. It's really about just allowing ourselves to see it even more fully and be more open to it. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 says, finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Let us focus on these things. Let us center our lives on these things so that they may be the lens by which we start experiencing our own lives. It is only when we move away from the fear and the anxiety that has been our way of being in so many different ways that we can see clearly about what's truly happening in us and in the world. And through that, hand in hand, heart in heart, we can not only create a life that works for us, that is fully experienced as abundance and prosperity, but we can create a world that works for all. And I kid you not, I'm really positive that we can do it. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Juan. Who heard what they needed to hear? See those hands? Yes, yes, yes. Seek and you will find. I love that. You know, we're so inquisitive here at Unity on the Bay, right? We're like those detectives on Dateline. We always know who did it. And here at Unity on the Bay, you get to ask. You get to ask questions if you're questioning something. That's so beautiful. Hi, Leslie. It's just so beautiful that we're able to do that here. You know, most places don't give you that space, you know. And then the Eeyore and Tigger reference. Oh, Reverend Juan. When I first heard that, that Reverend Chris was retiring, I went straight into victim. Es que te dije que no, ¿cómo va a ser? And since I'm Latina, I go straight into dramatic, right? So he's abandoning me, because it's all about me, right? You know. And then because of the principles, because of Unity on the Bay, I went to the other side, you know? And I was like, wow, he gets to be with his family. He's taught us so much. We get to use what he's taught us. And he's leaving us in overly competent hands of Reverend Juan. We're good. Thank you, Reverend Juan. Loved your message today. And that me and Michelle were just cracking up. It's like, that's me. Like, I've been on the phone with Michelle. Okay, I got to find my calendar. I'll tell you right now if I'm available. Oh, yeah, it's on my ear. We're nuts. So thank you so much, Reverend Juan. Fantastic, fantastic message. You know, here at Unity on the Bay, we believe in a spiritual law of giving and receiving, and now is your chance to give in gratitude. If you want to go green, you can text 833-245-5645. You can set that up once, and it'll make your life a lot easier. But if you would if you need an envelope, just raise your hand, and one of our incredible ushers will come by and hook you up. We got quite a few hands up, so Miss Juanita, let's hook them up, please. For everybody else, we'll take a moment of silence, and we'll give you a second to prepare your gift. For everybody else, take that time to think about what you're going to give up for Lent. My wife wants me to give up buying shoes. That's not going to happen. She buys shoes for comfort. We thank you for these gifts. We'll hold our hand to our heart or your gift to your heart if you would like, and we'll bless these gifts together. Divine love, that I am. Blessed is all that I give and all that I receive. Let's take a moment to bless the children that are in their own time of inspiration and learning in the Kids Zone here presently and also on Zoom. Rub those things together. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. Remember that we're here to pray with you. We're here to pray for you. I'm going to invite our incredible prayer chaplains to come on up. If you want to grab one of them after service, please do so. That's what they're here for. Also, don't forget, right after service, we're having our question and answer session with Reverend Chris. If there's anything that you'd like to ask or something that's come up that you'd like to share, please stay after service. We're going to have it right here. And with that, I'm going to invite Reverend Juan on up.
Thank you, Faye. And so this was an auspicious day for many reasons. One of them is it's actually one of those days where so many of our community are celebrating a birthday. We have Angela Ribeiro and Cindy Binder, who are longtime Spirit Group hosts, celebrating birthdays. Angelica Cookson, who was here at the earlier service and is part of our music ministry. And now he's got to pretend to be surprised that we're going to do this. It is also Dale's birthday. So we're so grateful. So let us sing happy birthday. Anybody else having a birthday today? There we go. All right. So everybody, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dale, Angelica, and Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Love you, Dale.
Love you, Dale.
All right, with that, let us stand so that we can speak our prayer for protection and then follow that with our peace song. Let us know this to be our truth. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is and all is well.